This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
It was so fun to be a part of Terry's baptism and to see the ripple effect that has made all over the world.
You literally just feel a wall when you walk out the door.
Reduce your risk of heart disease, dementia, cancer, and other major health issues by taking just 7,000 daily steps.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. A wrestling icon has died. Pro wrestling superstar Hulk Hogan suffered a cardiac arrest at his Florida home this morning.
The incredible Hulk Hogan, who entered to the eye of the tiger.
ESPN announcer Curran Badia says Hogan helped transform pro wrestling.
He crossed over into the mainstream, and that was because of reality shows like Hogan Knows Best, where we got to meet his family, and there was an authenticity to him.
But in his own words, the best moment of his life was 18 months ago when Hogan was water baptized after renewing his faith in Jesus Christ. He gave this interview to CBN.
Public baptism. You've said the greatest moment of your life.
Yes, without a doubt.
What did that mean for you?
It broke down that fourth or fifth wall to tell people the truth about my Lord and Savior, how, you should look at things or how you should care for people and not judge people. And it set me free. It wasn't that perfect vessel that I should be. Once I was baptized, I felt I was all anew. It really was a major pivot in my life.
Aaron Philippone is pastor of Indian Rocks Baptist Church.
It was so fun to be a part of Terry's baptism and to see the ripple effect that has made all over the world. He had people in Japan calling him just a couple of minutes later. This is the way that Christians go public in their faith, and he felt it important to do what Christians do.
Hulk Hogan dead at the age of 71 after bravely and openly sharing Jesus to the world. Baptize America has broken a record for the most water baptisms in a single day, 27,000 to be exact.
Just felt like God was there.
Every single state is represented, hundreds of churches in some states.
Experiencing people experiencing Jesus.
If it wasn't for her prayers and if it wasn't for God's grace, I'd either be dead or in jail, because that's the activities I was involved in.
God was pulling on my heartstrings to, come out here and finally accept Jesus as my Savior.
We have the Baptize America team in an interview coming up in a few minutes. It is 92 degrees outside right now, 98 with the heat index. That's about 10 degrees above the norm for New York and Pennsylvania. Ice cold lemonade! 130 million Americans are under heat alerts, with thousands of cities nearing 100 degrees. In Iowa, tens of thousands of cyclists pedaled hundreds of miles from one end of the state to the other for RAGBRAI. That's the world's longest recreational bike ride.
No one's racing. And what's the hurry? Get back in your hot tent?
You literally just feel a wall when you walk out the door.
Farmers like Will Cannon have no choice but to be outdoors.
You're sweating and the sweat won't even evaporate because there's so much humidity in the air.
Kevin tells us when the cool down comes in a few minutes. It is time for Columbia University to pay up for anti-Semitism. The college has agreed to pay a $200 million settlement with the Trump administration over 3 years because of campus protests. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
The deal between Columbia University and the Trump administration has the school paying $221 million to the federal government in order to restore research money. The administration pulled the funding because of what it described as the Ivy League school's failure to squelch anti-Semitism on campus over the Israel-Hamas war. The multi-million-dollar settlement could put pressure on other schools like Harvard to also reach a deal.
Reports indicate President Trump's name is mentioned in the Epstein files, and he was briefed on it by Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
NBC's Kristen Welker says it's a trust-building exercise between the president and the American people about the relationship that Donald Trump had with the late sex offender.
Look, President Trump campaigned on a promise to release the Epstein files and even appointed people to high levels of the administration who were similarly outspoken on this issue. And here's the bottom line, guys, to really look ahead to? Will this resonate with voters once lawmakers are at home and they start holding town halls? That's when we'll really know just how much this may or may not have traction all across the country.
New York Attorney General Tish James is making national news. She's leading a lawsuit against Donald Trump over his immigration policies.
It's nothing more than an attempt by this administration to terminate programs that millions of individuals have relied upon in order to advance his cruel immigration policies. It is unconscionable. It's unconstitutional. It's in violation of the law.
James wants illegal immigrants to retain benefits made for American citizens. Trump's border czar Tom Homan took issue with her and Governor Kathy Hochul today on immigration.
Letitia James, dead wrong on this.
He says New York is safer because of the work of ICE agents when New York allows them to work.
There is no cooperation. I'll use Laken Riley, for example. She may be alive today if NYPD would work with ICE, because he was arrested and charged with a crime in New York City and simply walked out of precinct. The illegal aliens who attacked NYPD officers in Times Square, they're arrested. No one called ICE. And so it goes on and on and on. So I blame the governor of New York, Governor Hochul, who pushed bail reform. So people are being released straight from the precincts. We can arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of a jail rather than release him in the community, which is going to be another community threat.
Uber is launching a new feature in the U.S. that pairs women drivers and riders.
The rideshare company will begin piloting the feature in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Detroit next month, marking its latest move to address safety on the platform. The company said the rider's preference isn't guaranteed, but the feature increases the chances women will be paired in the app. I'm Matt Mattinson.
And there's good news for those who don't get 10,000 steps a day in. Researchers say you can actually lower your goal and still get health benefits. NBC's Kristen Welker.
A new study out there in Australia that says you can reduce your risk of heart disease, dementia, cancer, and other major health issues by taking just 7,000 daily steps. The researchers report that people who took that amount lowered their risk of death from all causes by 47%.
Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, Baptize America has broken the record of the most people baptized in a single day. We sit down with the organizer after weather with Kevin Williams.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Clouds will gather overnight, and anytime after midnight across parts of western Pennsylvania, western New York, could come a shower or thunderstorm. Low temps, low 70s. For your Friday, mostly cloudy with some showers, couple thunderstorms. It'll be warm and humid, highs from the low 80s in Niagara to the low 90s in eastern Pennsylvania. On Saturday across New York State, a mix of clouds and sunshine with just a slight shower chance. Better bet of some showers and thunderstorms in Pennsylvania Saturday with high temperatures across the board in the 80s.
Thank you, Kevin. On deck next, the largest water baptism in American history. Let's listen in. This is Faith Under Fire. We take you straight to the voices on the front lines of religious battlegrounds. I'm news anchor Sarah Harnish, and with me today, Pastor Mark Francie. We're talking Baptize America. We have an update on the Baptize America event held in June. They did break a record. It was the largest synchronized baptism event in American history. 27,000 people baptized across all 50 states on June 8th, 2025, Pentecost Sunday. The event involved over 650 churches and culminated in a massive gathering at Pirates Cove in California.
Just felt like God was there.
Every single state is represented, hundreds of churches in some states.
I really think that the coolest part about being out there is just experiencing people experiencing Jesus.
If it wasn't for her prayers and if it wasn't for God's grace, I'd either be dead or in jail, because that's the activities I was involved in.
God was pulling on my heartstrings to, come out here and finally accept Jesus as my Savior.
Organizer Pastor Mark Francie sat down with the Family Life News team.
We're looking to unite the church under the one thing that we all agree on as believers, which is the Great Commission to go make disciples of all nations, baptizing them. We're going to start with America, but we believe it's going to go to the ends of the earth.
Hey, we believe so too, and you're going to do it again in 2026. So if churches want to take part, all they have to do is go to baptize.org. Tell me how it works.
Well, you could go to the website, sign your church up to be a host church. We're marketing all over the country, and the goal is to get people that are interested in taking their next step with God. I know a lot of people, they don't understand everything about Christianity, but they seem to understand that the birth of Jesus was good at Christmas, the resurrection of Jesus was good at Easter, and the third day that really non-believers understand is there's something powerful about water baptism. They can't quite explain why, but if they show up to one of these churches, they're going to hear a clear gospel presentation at every church signed up. They're going to hear an explanation of what water baptism is, and we're going to get them started on the journey of discipleship being connected to a local church.
I've watched from afar what you guys have been doing in California, and it's pretty crazy. You're just dunking people in the ocean right out on the beach.
It has been a wild couple years, to be sure. It started at Pirates Cove. We started there 3 years ago, baptized almost 4,200 people that day. And then really in 3 days, we've seen almost 24,000 people get water baptized. We went to Huntington Beach the last 2 years on the day of Pentecost, united hundreds of churches. We thought if God could do it in California, certainly He could do it in Tennessee or Texas.
Why does baptism mean so much to you?
Well, I was changed by obeying the voice of Jesus to get water baptized. My story was I gave my life to Jesus, started at Bible college, never thought I'd do any of that. And about a year after I gave my life to Jesus, I finally took the next step to get water baptized. I can attest there was a power, there was a grace that I stepped into the day I got water baptized. There was some lingering sin, lingering habits that didn't fall, didn't really lose their grip on me until I got into the waters of baptism. So I've lived this out. It's been a practical thing that I've seen change my life, and I think it changes everybody else's. So I believe as a firsthand witness that if it could change me the way that it did, set me on the right path to move and follow Jesus, get connected to a church, really become a disciple of Christ, that it can do the same for hundreds of thousands, millions of people, and get the word out that Jesus Christ Church is united, and water baptism is the first step into a great life of following Him.
Learn more at baptize.org. Check out the Faith Under Fire podcast online anytime at familylife.org under podcasts.
Has your car ever made a strange noise, but you can't figure out what's wrong? Worse, the mechanic laughs when you try to describe it? Hi, I'm Rob West of the Faith and Finance Minute. There are times when you just know something's wrong. A part needs to be adjusted or replaced, but asking for help is embarrassing and seems worse than the problem. Well, if that's how you feel about your finances, let me reassure you at Faith Fi, we're here to help, not judge. You're not alone. Everyone hits bumps in the road, and there's no shame in asking for guidance. So if your budget won't start, or you can't put the brakes on your spending, or your bills are overheating, don't wait. Reach out at faithfi.com or call us at 800-525-7000. We'll help get your finances running smoothly once again. Connect with a certified Kingdom advisor who's been trained to deliver financial advice that aligns with your Christian values by visiting our website, faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, which is faster, the drive-thru or the front door? There's an actual study on it now. We've got the results after weather.
Hi, I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. After several pleasant sleepy nights weather-wise, tonight's going to be different. It's going to be muggier, stuffier, tropical air in play. And some of us may be awoken to the sound of thunder and rain and the flash of lightning later at night. The call for tonight, dry across the region this evening, balmy for sure. Clouds will gather overnight, and anytime after midnight across parts of western Pennsylvania, western New York, could come a shower or thunderstorm, low temps, low 70s. For your Friday, mostly cloudy with some showers, couple thunderstorms. It'll be warm and humid, highs from the low 80s in Niagara to the low 90s in eastern Pennsylvania. On Saturday across New York State, a mix of clouds and sunshine with just a slight shower chance. Better bet of some showers and thunderstorms in Pennsylvania Saturday, with high temperatures across the board in the 80s.
All right, Kevin, finally at 5, today is National Drive-Thru Day, an easy stop at a store or a restaurant since the 1930s, but as Bree Tennis tells us, it might not be the quickest option.
The Food Institute says nearly half of us will avoid a business if it doesn't have a drive-thru, but is that the right choice? McDonald's says the average drive-thru wait time is nearly 7 minutes, but 5 minutes or less at the counter. I'm Bree Tennis.
And that's the world that we live in for Thursday, the 24th of July. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.